Mine was sitting on the floor while crying, but suddenly she looked at the diary and grabbed it. She opened it and then closed it to see if it was her diary or not. She became confused after looking at the diary. It was not her diary. She opened it and checked it. That was not her writing, and then thought hit her, and she realized that she never wrote about him after getting married to Jungkook. When Jungkook was talking about the diary, she thought that she wrote it when and forgot, but now she was realizing she never wrote anything. She checked it again and it was not her diary. When Jungkook was talking, she was not in right mind. Her mind was off at that time because of the humiliation. Now she was realizing everything. It was true that she wasn't okay on vacation because she thought that Daniel died because of her, and it was true. She thought that she would become the reason for his death, or if it died, she grabbed her head out of tension and threw the diary. She didn't write that her condition was worse at that time. She was worrying about Jungkook because she did know how to explain. She didn't know how to explain, and she was quiet when he was asking her. Now she was regretting. She didn't want him to leave, but she didn't want to leave him. She wiped her tears and got up. She looked at herself in the mirror and she was looking horrible. She cracked it herself and opened the window door. Why are you okay? She asked her politely. Yes. Why are you here? Come with me. They both walked out. One nodded and walked out with her. She asked about Jungkook from Wine, but Wine said she didn't know where he went. Now they came out and sat down. His cousin came and apologized to her in front of everyone and because of her mistake. Minnie was looking at her as she wanted everyone to insult one. She was giving that grace to why, and one couldn't steal anything after time. Mrs. called Jungkook so many times because they wanted to start this ceremony, but his cell phone was off. One's heartbeat was so fast that she could get an anxiety attack. He stopped the car and helped us, and he couldn't believe anything or not even on his words or himself. He opened the door and up and walked out and took a deep breath. He was heartbroken because he loved her truly, but she married him just for the monstrous to make Daniel and Minnie jealous. He remembered how he agreed to marry her. And when after reading her diary, those words were roaming in his mind. Suddenly his eyes got teary. He wiped his tears and tried to control himself. He was still shocked. He didn't believe that Daniel and Juan could love each other. He thought that she loved him. He couldn't handle the betrayal. She always wanted him. He was ready to leave her even though it was hard for him, but he didn't want any forced marriage. If she loved Daniel, then she should go to him. He was standing there while thinking about everything, like how suddenly everything became fake between them, but they were so happy. But now he was so worried. Sean was passing by there. He stopped after seeing Jungkook. He stopped his car and came out of his car. And Jungkook, what are you doing? Gary opened his eyes and wiped his tears, but Sean saw them and walked towards him. Tell me the reason. Nothing happened. I came here just for the fresh air. I have to go because of Daniel engagement. I'm okay. Okay, I saw that you were crying. No, it was just an allergy. Okay, now go, and if you need anything, then call me. Okay, he smiled and they both got back into the car. Junk was still hurt. Sean went to his way and Junk was driving while his tears didn't stop falling. It was so hard for him to accept everything. Then was staring at the full while her Van was staring at the full while her mind was on him. She was zoned out. Daniel was looking so pissed because of Minnie. Minnie was doing just that to see Van hurt. She knew that Van loved her. Daniel, and also she didn't have anyone except him, so she agreed to marry him. Suddenly, the Jungkook came here, sat down beside her without looking at her and pretended like nothing at him. He was ignoring her. She was looking at him and he was avoiding her. Jungkook, that is not to believe me. He didn't look at her. The assignment ended and everyone went to their houses. Daniel was going back and Winnie was sitting with him in the car, but he didn't even help her to sit or talk with her. They went back and Divine looked at her. She looked at his parents and told him them he had work, so he would stay outside. Before saying anything, he went out. She came into the room and suddenly she didn't know what to do because she did wrong. She looked at the diary and true, she wanted to know who put that diary because it wasn't hers. She knew that she wouldn't recover calls because she still tried to call him. She wanted to tell him everything after calling him several times. It was true that she got closer to him just to make Winnie jealous, but after when she only loved him, not Daniel. She was feeling bad after hearing about the engagement because she didn't want those people to leave everybody who hurt her so much. Daniel also hurt her because he let his mom insult her so many times. She didn't want them to stay happy. They hurt her and she wanted him to get a worse life. She was feeling grief because he was making her feel like she cheated on Daniel. She never regretting marrying Jungkook. He never wanted to leave him. She wanted to spend her whole life with him because he did everything for her. She wanted to tell him that she didn't dare right there, that she was so confused or not in her right mind at that moment. That's why she didn't deny anything. Even though he was asking her about the diary and she was just standing his cousin was humiliated. She wasn't in her right mind. When he was asking about the daddy, she thought that he found her older. She didn't know what to do. She always thought that she would never leave him for anyone. She closed her eyes and tears started falling. Her life became hell. She wasn't ready for the divorce, but he said he would leave her. The next morning, Juan was sitting with his parents, but his dad and his dad was calling him. Juan, did he tell you where he was? No, they wasn't picking up the call. Juan was so worried and was playing with the fingers while heart was pounding. And on the other hand, he was sleeping peaceful, but suddenly he felt a touch on his face. So he thought it was Juan. Why are you touching me? His voice was low. Because you are so amazing. The voice was changed. He frowned and opened his eyes. Hanni was laying beside him and he immediately sat down. What are you doing here? He asked from Hani and got up while holding his coat. Janku, what happened? Why are you so shocked? Can't I live? He said, no, he was about to go out, but it's because you are married now with that little girl. Honey, don't eat my mind now. And don't you have any shame? How can you enter in someone's house? You are not someone. If you were cut about me, then let me tell you we were in a no, get out of your delusion world. We were never together. I so it was just a time pass. I never used. You understand? I didn't tell you to go for and stop this. We were never together. I can simply say that you were my friend. Now let me live peacefully and tired of everything. Why are you tired when you have me and here doesn't go out? Pine was sitting while sitting waiting for him. She was so worried, but suddenly he entered and looked at them. She was sitting with his parents. Where have you been, Dad? I stepped out my house. I didn't realize. You should inform us. Pine was so worried for you. Why he didn't even look at her. Now go and change. He nodded and went to his room. Joanne came into the room and pressed his clothes on the bed, and her mind was full of other thoughts, other house. He never showed her or told her about it. He came out and he looked at her with the cold eyes. He looked at this clothes and you don't have to do anything for me and don't do it again. His voice was full of hatred. It's not what you are thinking, but he walked out while banging the door. She opened her eyes filled with tears and he will not believe me. It's all my mistake. I don't know how to explain it. It was looking as she wanted to deny everything. No, she was sitting in the class while the professor was speaking, but so her mind was on him. She was curious about his second house. Her mind was hurting her. His words were coming into her mind. He started this is sleep. He started to sleep in his other house. He stopped talking to her, and she didn't have any reason. Man hated that when it was eight, but it was Minnie's life. She always thought that why they have so much a different fate. Why did Minnie always get what she wanted? Why Brian always suffered? Who is she? Why is she so happy about engaging to one? She never liked him. They came out of this corner and driver was waiting for wine. When he stopped and wine, is Jungkook busy? Why doesn't he come to pick you up like he does? She said mockingly. One looked at her and what are you asking the told you wouldn't talk for about a month after getting insulted. When turned and actually on the engagement when she accused Divine of stealing Mrs. Joy insulted her so much in between so many people nobody said anything for everyone started calling her bad because she was calling his sister while sitting in her house. Hima Janku cousin didn't talk with her again and apologized to Van Daniel. His mother didn't say anything. Now Janku was sitting while looking at the screen. He was so focused but Hanni entered, looked at her. What are you doing here? He asked and she walked towards him. You changed the password of your house door. Yes, why don't you like my presence? He looked at her fully faced and what do you want from me? From a married man? Do you have a shame? Or why are you doing cheap things to even knowing that I'm married? But you didn't want to, but you want to, didn't you want to divorce her? His eyes, we didn't tell anyone about it. I know you wanted to give her divorce. Don't hide from me. I don't want to. Why can't I imagine you are with me and a happy family? Anya, please go out, he said while cutting up. She looked into his eyes and why can't you tell her like to talk to me? I'm not a gold digger. I will not use it like your wife does. He became more shocked like how she knew. Or this is what you deserve. You need to taste your own medicine. You need to feel the pain of one child love. I believe that she will leave you. One day you are trying to give yourself a hope that she won't leave you, but he got a penguin cut out. I don't want to see your face. She walked out and he sat down while holding his eyes. She was trying to deny. He stopped talking to her because he was so hard. He never imagined that she loved Tanya wanted to see him for wanted to leave him for Tanya. He still felt pain in his heart after remembering the word she wrote for Tanya, like how she couldn't live without him. He didn't want to say that she should marry her sister, but it was just to see her reaction. Now mine was checking all the cameras recording while the guards were standing with her, but they couldn't find the recording. It was looking like the recording was deleted. She looked at the guard and someone deleted it. The guard said they tried hard but didn't find it, though went back to her room. She came into her room and it was he was not there. He never came back to her after that. And he was also right, but she just wanted to clear it that she didn't want to leave him. But now she started to think that she did wrong and leaving him for him was best, even though it was hard for her. But her mind was telling her to do. He was then while his gaze was on the ceiling, he was thinking about it. He wanted to clear everything. Couldn't live like this. He made up his mind. He was ready to ask Danny and Minnie about this. And if Danny and Minnie told him the truth, then there was no hope for them to live together. He would leave or he didn't want to live with a woman who was still in love with her ex and would mind things without about him. The next morning he was sitting in his office while waiting for them. After a few minutes later, Johnny entered with a small eyebrow. He said, but after seeing his face fell. What happened? He asked, and then Minnie entered and Daniel looked at him. But why just tell me the truth? Don't try to lie. They both looked didn't have any idea what he was talking about. He asked, and what do you leave, Ryan? Daniel. Dennis eyes widen after hearing this. He was too stunned to speak. He didn't think that one day Jungkook would ask this. They both met someone and then started talking. I got them ready and told his mother, and then he left without telling anyone. Why do you leave? Daniel realized it was useless to her. More boldly, she didn't like one. So do you love her? And she looked at her cousin and was so speechless. I loved her so much. Did she love you? Yes, she loved him so much. No, you don't know. She was dying without him. She called him with different numbers just to hear his voice. And you know what she heard about his mom wanted him to marry me? She immediately got married to you. We all were so confused. Why did she marry when she loved Yanni? But the reason was that she just wanted to make me jealous because I told mom about them. Dan was staring at her with a hateful voice. If you don't believe me, then ask him. He knows everything. I ask him about her craziness over him. Tell me the truth. I have proofs. Minnie, stop interrupting us. She nodded and Daniel looked at him and yes, this is true. She called me crying and told me that my mom wanted money for me. I don't remember what I said, but she cut the call angry and then the next day I came to know that she married you. She used it to show that she didn't care about him. Actually, she still loved him. How do you know she still loves him? I know her very well. How can she move on someone? She was literally dying for him. You can see her sadness. She regretted marrying you. She always wanted Daniel. She may deny this, but she sees it too. Ask her or him, they will not deny anything. One may deny just to save her marriage, but if she loved you, then why did she call Daniel while crying? And after hearing his response, she married you. And why in the middle of the night she got ready to marry you? If she loves you, then she would tell you. But all this she did to you is you. His heart was breaking. His face fell, and he had no expression on his face. I could notice the pain of betrayal. You both can go. They nodded and walked towards the door. Daniel was giving Winnie that stares were suddenly wait. They both go and wait for my reply. Reply? Just go. They nodded and walked out. And now here lays her hand. At night one was staring upset while her face was blank. She was not feeling good. Suddenly his car entered and she got up after he entered the room like a zombie and when he entered she stepped back. He was so angry, he closed the room door and walked towards her. She got if you wanted to talk to me, huh? I want to tell that the diary is not mine. I never wrote that. I don't want to go back to Tanya. I want to live with you. I never said Daniel is better than you. You are the most amazing one I ever met. But okay, but do you marry me suddenly? I mean, you never confessed me that you loved me. Yes, I was so tired of my vice parents. They insulted me so much. You were the one who treated me out, so I thought that you were right for choice for me. I just wanted you because you were so caring. I fell in love with you after seeing your caring side. But just don't leave me. I will die. He was staring at her. Believe me, I love you. I believe you. He hugged her and she hugged him tightly by closing her eyes. Her tears started falling. She was really afraid to lose him, but she didn't care about anything and anyone. He broke the hug and wiped her tears. You don't have to cry. You deserve a better life. I'm always with you. She nodded and hugged him again. Don't leave me. I know I made some mistakes. I never wanted to hurt anyone, but believe me, I always tried not to hurt anyone. I never wanted to become like my mom. Sometimes we become what we hate. But don't worry, life is so easy for you now. He grabbed her hand and started walking towards the bed. Let's take her out. She nodded and lay down with him while hugging him. He was there. He started to pat her back and she closed her eyes. She was feeling so good. She was so heartbroken. It was too that she would not survive after hearing that he divorced her. She didn't want to do anything. It just happened. She loved him and didn't want to hurt him. But she just wanted to live with him. She suffered all her life, but now she wanted peace. The next day she woke up and saw him getting ready. He looked at her and smiled. Why, I have a surprise for you too, so get ready. She became happy and nodded without asking about the surprise. She was happy that he was doing that for her. She got ready and on they were going towards the destination. She was so happy and was holding his hand. He was looking so happy. He kissed her hand and she smiled and leaning while leaning on him. They stopped here and he opened the door for her. She came out was running and they walked towards the place where he had arranged everything. She sat down with him and gave her a ring and they talked. While on the other hand, what he again goes back to her. Now they are on at their house. And why did she forget that she used him? She was talking to someone on telephone when her mood was caught after hearing the news of him going back to one. She sat down and got the call. Everyone was waiting for the surprise and he was smiling while holding some papers. He put the papers on the table. Why didn't you tell me last time that you called Daniel before marrying me? Her smile fell. Didn't tell me that you were crying for him because he rejected you. Didn't tell me that you started to talk to me or give me signs to just to make your sister jealous. You didn't tell me you cheered me up back to cheered. She didn't know what to say. I married you because I loved you. I thought that you needed me, so I should ask you the reason. I was so blind in love with you. I thought that you married me because of your parents' behavior, but you just married me just to hurt me and Daniel. Means I was nothing. He handed the papers. She was turned to heartbroken and he left from there. While she was standing there looking at him, her tears started falling. He left and the ghost was just standing there. She sat down and started crying. She didn't deny the truth. She just cried. He sat in the car and his tears started falling. He started driving while crying. He couldn't believe what he had done. His heartbeat was so fast he didn't want to leave where he was. So hurt his hand started shaking. For the first time he was experiencing all this. For the first time he wanted to go back and for some reason he stopped himself. The rubber sobbed her hair and it was raining torrentially. She came out of the car and the guard tried to put the umbrella on her, but she walked towards it and he laughed when he was standing outside the house. When he ran to her in the rain and she cried with her life, mean this is what you want. Why this life is so mean to me? Why I'm so unlucky in everything? Why can't I live happily? Why this happened to me? Why her cries were so hard and he was trying to come at her. I don't want to live without him. I don't know how to make him realize I truly love him. I want him back. Fine, stop crying. How could those people live happily without me? Why can't I happily? He should have left me knowing that I couldn't live without me. Without him, Daniel was trying to help her, but she